Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Michael Reads. Thank you for joining me once again as we continue our journey through one of the most timeless personal finance books ever written, The Richest Man in Babylon by George S. Clason. Whether you're watching this live with me today or discovering this video through replay, I want to thank you for being here. The fact that you've chosen to spend your time learning, reflecting, and improving yourself is already a powerful step forward. In our previous discussions, we discovered that wealth begins with a decision to stop simply hoping for a better financial future and start taking responsibility for creating one. We learned about Arkad, the richest man in Babylon, and how his success did not come from luck, inheritance, or some secret shortcut. It came from understanding timeless principles. We explored the 7 cures for a lean purse and discovered that wealth is built through habits. We discussed how opportunity often favors those who are prepared to act. And today, we arrive at one of the most important chapters in the entire book, the chapter that many readers consider the foundation of everything that follows, the 5 laws of gold. Before we begin, if you've been enjoying these discussions, please take a moment to support the channel by liking this live stream. Give us a thumbs up, please, as subscribing to Michael Reads and sharing this video with someone who might benefit from these lessons. And if you haven't already, I encourage you to explore the complete Richest Man in Babylon playlist here on the channel. These discussions are designed to give you the bigger picture, but there is something powerful about experiencing every chapter in full and allowing Clason's words to challenge your own thinking. So let's continue our journey. So chapter 5, the 5 laws of gold. This chapter begins with one of the most interesting ideas in the entire book. A man named Arkad is approached by his friend Nomasur. Nomasur is about to leave home and begin his own journey towards wealth. His father Arkad wants to give him something valuable. But rather than simply giving him gold, he gives him something much more important. He gives him wisdom. Because gold without wisdom can disappear quickly, but wisdom can recreate gold again and again. This distinction is incredibly important. Many people believe that if they suddenly received a large amount of money, all their problems would disappear. But history repeatedly shows us something different. People who receive wealth without understanding often lose it. People who understand wealth can rebuild after setbacks. The lesson is simple. Money is powerful, but knowledge is way more powerful. The first law of gold. The first law teaches that gold comes willingly and in increasing quantity to those who save a portion of everything they earn. This principle may sound familiar because it connects directly with earlier chapters, but there's something deeper here. Clason is not simply talking about saving money, he's talking about developing an identity. Becoming someone who understands that their future matters. A person who saves consistently is sending a message to themselves. That message is simply, my future is important. Every time you keep a portion of your income, you are building evidence that you are capable of controlling your financial freedom and direction. I think this is one of the most important mindset shifts anyone can take. Many people think wealth begins when they earn more, but often wealth begins when they manage what they already have better. A person who cannot manage a small amount will usually struggle managing a larger amount. The habit comes before the reward. The second law of gold. The second law teaches that gold works for those who find profitable employment for it. In modern language, your money should not simply sit still. It should have a purpose. This is where the book introduces the idea that money can become productive. Your labor creates income, but eventually your money should also create income. This is the difference between only earning and building. A person who relies entirely on their own time has a limit. There's all there are only so many hours in a day, but assets, investments, and businesses can continue creating value beyond the hours you personally work. This principle connects deeply with something I believe many people overlook. The goal is not simply to work harder forever. The goal is to gradually build systems that create more freedom. That process takes time. It requires patience, but every great financial journey begins with understanding this principle. Then it takes us to the third law of gold. The third law explains that gold remains under the protection of wise people who invest according to the advice of those experienced in handling it. This law introduces a vital lesson. Not every opportunity deserves your money. Sometimes the biggest financial mistakes come from excitement. A new trend appears. Someone promises incredible returns. Everyone seems to be talking about it. The temptation is powerful. But wisdom asks different questions. Do I understand this? Who is advising me? What experience does this person have? What risks exist? The desire to grow wealth must always be balanced with the responsibility to protect it. Which takes us on to the fourth law of gold. The fourth law teaches that gold slips away from those who invest in things they simply just do not understand. This may be one of the most relevant lessons for the modern world. Today, information is everywhere. But information does not always equal wisdom. Social media can make every opportunity appear easy. Everyone seems successful. Everyone has the next big idea. But successful investing requires patience, research, and humility. The ability to say, I don't understand this yet, so I need to learn before I act. That sentence alone can protect people from many mistakes. One of the greatest skills anyone can develop is the ability to delay excitement. Not every opportunity is your opportunity. Sometimes pretending or protecting your wealth is more important than chasing growth. And then the fifth and final law of gold. The final law teaches that gold flees those who attempt impossible earnings or follow unrealistic advice from people who lack experience. This is perhaps the most important warning in the entire chapter because human nature hasn't changed. Thousands of years ago, people were searching for shortcuts. Today, people still search for shortcuts. The technology changes, the promises change, but the temptation remains. The dream of becoming wealthy quickly can often distract us from the slower, more reliable path of building real value. This book reminds us true wealth is usually built, not found. The deeper lesson of the five laws of gold. When we step back and look at all five laws together, a bigger picture emerges. Clason is teaching us that wealth requires 5 qualities: discipline, because we must save; patience, because growth takes time; wisdom, because we must make informed decisions; humility, because we cannot know everything; responsibility, because our future depends on the choices we make today. The beauty of these principles is that they apply far beyond money. They apply to business, relationships, health, personal development. Success in any area of life usually follows the same pattern: learn, apply, improve, and then repeat that process. This chapter is powerful because it changes the way we view money. Money is not the destination, money is a tool. A tool that can create opportunity, a tool that can provide security, a tool that can allow us to contribute more to the people and causes that matter to us. But like any tool, it requires understanding. A hammer in the hands of someone skilled can build something incredible. A hammer in the hands of someone careless can cause damage. Gold is no different. The question is not simply, how much money do I have? The better question is, how much wisdom do I have to manage what I have? And that brings us to the end of chapter 5, the 5 laws of gold. This chapter is one I would encourage everyone to revisit, because every time you read it, different lessons stand out depending on where you are in your own journey. Maybe today your focus is learning to save. Maybe it's protecting what you've built. Maybe it's investing wisely. Maybe it's simply developing your financial education. Wherever you are, there is something valuable here. So if you have enjoyed this discussion, please support me, Michael, by liking this live stream, subscribing to the channel, and sharing it with someone who would benefit from these timeless principles. I too am learning from these. I am not a professional. I am going by the book, literally, and I'm using it as a manual. And if you haven't yet watched the full chapter reading, I invite you to explore the Richest Man in Babylon playlist here on the channel. Also, if you don't own a copy of this book, I strongly encourage you to get one. The greatest value of a book like this comes from returning to it throughout different seasons of life and discovering lessons you may have missed before. And in the next part of our journey, we will explore chapters 6 and 7, the gold lender of Babylon and the walls of Babylon. We discover the importance of seeking wise counsel, understanding risk, and building protection around everything we are trying to achieve. Until then, keep reading, keep learning, keep growing, and remember, success is rarely built through one dramatic moment. It is built through small, wise decisions repeated consistently over time. So, I hope you enjoy the rest of your evenings. Thank you for joining me here on Michael Reads, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one, which will be tomorrow, where we'll cover those chapters. And until then, take care and goodbye.